Good afternoon, everyone. It's Kirsten here from Kirsten Foss Coaching, and we're here on Thursday for another spa business break where I'm talking about all sorts of different topics about spa business. Today, it happens to be about pricing and pricing strategies. So I am talking about pricing because and pricing strategies and the problems that you might be facing in your business with pricing. So maybe you're competing on price. Maybe you don't know exactly how much your cost per treatments are costing you, so your pricing might be off. You might not be able to be making a profit if that is off. Maybe you haven't raised your rates in a really long time or at all. And the final thing, as far as pricing problems that I see coming up a lot, is that you don't really have a pricing strategy for any launches that you do, whether that's a new service or whether it's a new retail line that you've added or retail product. Or it could be that you are in startup mode or preparing for startup and you don't have a pricing strategy for that. And so all of these issues with pricing can make you feel kind of crazy when it comes to your spa revenues. You look at your bottom line, you look at your revenues and you wonder like, how can I create change from this? I don't understand. And part of the problem is that there's so many moving parts to your business that you do have to be able to kind of discern where the problems are happening. And unfortunately, our industry, we've never really been encouraged to be critical thinkers. And it's often kind of the pattern that a lot of spa owners get stuck in is just kind of looking at what other spas are doing. And so when that happens, we're really giving a lot of our power away. We're giving a lot of the possibilities, opportunities away when we do that. And so my goal for you, what my job is to help you to become a better critical thinker. Because when you are a critical thinker, then you can strategize. So all of these issues with pricing has to do with it has to do with having gaps in that strategy, the pricing strategy. And so when you're competing on price, it's super frustrating because there's the logical part where you feel like you have to because you're afraid that if you actually raise your rates, then clients won't come, they won't book, or you'll lose the clients that you want. So you get stuck in the kind of the emotional roller coaster of believing that you have to have the same or similar prices as your competitors. But the problem is it's a bit of a blind leading the blind, because I can almost guarantee that they haven't done an exercise with all their treatments to figure out what their actual cost per treatments are. I know this because every time I look at spas and their pricing and see quite low prices, I know that what it's costing them to do the treatment, to give the treatment. And I don't mean just the ingredient tech or the ingredients, the products themselves, how much gauze you use. I'm talking about your labor costs. I'm talking about your overhead costs being put in there as well. So most spas have not done cost per treatment exercises. And so they go ahead and they follow other spas' pricing strategy where there's actually no strategy behind it. They've just kind of done some guesswork and looked at what everybody else is doing. So as a business, we really need to stay in our own lane and figure out exactly what's happening with pieces of it, like our pricing. And that means really having a very clear understanding of how much your services cost to give. When you have that down, once you figure that out, all of a sudden the emotional part of raising your prices isn't really an issue, because you've done the work, you've crunched the numbers, and you know how much it costs you to give that service. And so when clients come to you and maybe push a little bit, asking for a deal, the emotional part of it, the equation, just gets tossed out. It's not even an issue anymore, because you're very, very clear about what it costs and what you can sell it for. So pricing problems in the spa can cause a huge amount of emotional turmoil for spa owners when they don't know things like how to figure out their cost per treatment, when they're competing on price. when they haven't raised their rates, when they don't have a spot, like a pricing strategy. It's just really easy to get stuck in the emotional angst of pricing. And that really holds you back from your sales, from increasing your sales. So I'm curious, I feel like, every time I have a conversation about pricing, I get lots of hands up about, I don't feel super confident about my pricing right now. I feel kind of in the dark. Maybe you feel that way too. And so really the only way to get through this aspect of pricing, making sure that you are correctly priced, making sure that your rates are reflecting not just your cost per treatment, but your expertise, the expertise of your team. Also things like how to get out from underneath the thumb of, constantly doing manis and petties, to be able to upgrade what kind of services you're doing so that you're getting more revenues coming in. So pricing problems can make us all very, very crazy. It's kind of like a front end issue as far as how to increase your revenues. It's, because your prices are right out there, and often spa owners it's kind of like the last place where they don't know what to do with it, just because of the emotions behind it, the fear behind it. So what I'm doing for as far as helping spas with their pricing strategy is that this is week 1 of our topic in Cash Drop to Cash Flow, and that is my yearly spring money course for spa owners. And I touch on pricing right away because that is a place that you can quickly have some wins for your revenues. Once you've gone through that particular module, you have there's going to be some homework for you for sure. You're going to need to use the spreadsheets that I give you to figure out your cost per treatment. But once you have that down, once you have that knowledge, from that training about pricing and how to strategize with your pricing, then all of a sudden you've got like some more spaciousness and openness with what you can do as far as increasing your revenues just by working on pricing. So if pricing is one of those pieces that you are pulling your hair out and you kind of like don't know what to do about it, and you're feeling really nervous about, you have to raise your rates, you're not really sure how to do it, you have to reposition yourself in your community with your rates, you have to just put them up in order to be profitable, then please join us for Cash Drop to Cash Flow. We start on Wednesday, April 11th, and it's a 4-week course. So every week I'm going to be training you on a different aspect of your spa money. So first week we are diving into pricing strategy. The second week I'm going to be teaching you about cash flow forecasting. I know numbers are not spa owners' most favorite thing in the world, but here's the thing. If you want to fix your money issues, you gotta face them. They won't go away. They're going to still be there. If you don't want to face them, if you put your head in the sand for another year, they're still going to be there another year down the road. A lot of times I feel what happens with us as human beings is that we have to get so frustrated and so pissed off and so just like that what else do I have to do? When you hit the wall, that is when you are ready to make changes. I really hope you don't have to hit the wall because that's really painful. I've been there, done that. I know many of you are there at the moment, and it is painful. You don't want to be here any longer. So if that's the case for you, then join us with Cash Drop to Cash Flow. So week 2 is cash flow forecasting, just for beginners. You don't have to be an accountant. You don't have to be a bookkeeper. I'm going to walk you through it. It's easy. It's just a matter of doing the steps. Week 3 is a new module for Cash Drop to Cash Flow. So for those of you that have been in the course before, you get lifetime access, and this will be a dedicated week that we are talking about spa sales systems. Creating a sales system in the spa so that when we create a system, it creates repeatable results. And so if we want repeatable more sales happening more regularly, then we have to create a sales system for it, not kind of just willy-nilly, like we're selling. Sometimes we sell well, sometimes we don't. Sometimes our team sells well, sometimes they don't. We need a system. So I'm going to teach you a sales system, and that's going to include scripts. It's going to include a sales script. It's going to include objections scripts for you, because we know that's one of those pieces that feels really awkward when we are in a sales conversation, is when somebody says, "Oh, I can't afford it." I've got some good scripts for you that are very respectful, but also get your point across. And then finally in week four, what are we talking about? Holy cow. Oh, week 4 is the 5-step sales shift. How could I forget that? I've got 5 different steps and little pieces in your business that you can absolutely, like literally the next day, you can try one of them with your clients the next day and just watch the sales grow. And with all 5 of those steps, I'm going to teach you all 5. And what I usually recommend is that you try one of them for a week or 2, really nail it, then add the next tactic for a week or 2, really nail it. And as you build each one of those steps, it increases your sales exponentially. Not only that, when you go and take this system back to your team, like think about it. If you've got 2 team members, if your sales go up exponentially, then you multiply that by 2. If you have 10 team members, you multiply it by 10. So it's one of those modules that you get easy wins, quick easy wins with those, and the same with your team. Because I know it's sometimes hard to do big changes in your business. And sometimes with some changes, it's kind of like a big machine and it takes a little while for things to get going. But with the 5-step sales shifts, it's intended to give quick wins. So the link for Cash Drop to Cash Flow is in the description. You can click on that and it's got all sorts of information that walks you through everything. So 4 weeks, 4 financial strategies. You also have, not on top of the training calls every Wednesday, the following Monday, you'll always have a Facebook Live coaching call in our private group. I'm very active in our group while we are in active training mode for the month. After that, we won't be in active training mode, but you certainly have access to all of the calls, all of the recordings, all of the spreadsheets, all of the support documents, and you can work at it on your own pace throughout the year. And then pop into the group if you have a question and tag me on it. So the first 15 people also who register get a little bonus with me, and that is a 30-minute private coaching call with me. And you can ask anybody who has worked with me that in 30 minutes we can get a lot done. We talk about a lot, and we can make some quick wins, have some quick wins, and get you start working on track for things for your business. Okay, so if you have any questions about Cash Drop to Cash Flow, feel free to send me a direct message. If you want to have a quick phone call to talk about whether it's appropriate or not for you right now, to be fully honest, if you've got some other project you're working on, this is not the best time to start Cash Drop to Cash Flow. I want you to succeed with this program, and if you are not focused, if you have other priorities, then just wait till next year and join us next year. But if you know that you need to make changes ASAP to your bottom line and you're kind of been floundering around trying to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and nothing's really working, then I really want you to join us to start off on Wednesday the 11th. Okay, that's it for me for Spa Business Break, and I will probably be back here. I'll definitely be back here next Thursday, but I'll most likely also be doing some Facebook Lives in Spa Business Mastery. That's the free Facebook group I have for spa owners. So if you're a spa owner and you're not in there already, feel free to request to join and I'll let you in. And yeah, I'll be dripping out some more content for you throughout the week next week. Okay, thanks for joining me. Have a great long weekend. Are you open tomorrow on Good Friday? Are you open on Monday? Are you taking any extra days off? Probably not. You guys are busy, hardworking people. I get it. But I do hope you have a lovely long weekend. Okay, see you soon.